Hi guys, we're back with the A to Z of business storytelling, and this week is a big one. We're talking about content and why content is so important to your business. So there's a phrase that is content is king, and while I think that phrase is probably a little bit overdone, I think the heart of it is still very true for businesses today. There was a study actually out of Contents magazine that found that obviously most people use the internet to find good information, but even today, they think 65% of users still think that web content is hit or miss or unreliable. So as more businesses get on the internet and, that new thing, the internet, and they build out their brands and they're putting content online, it actually does make a difference whether you have good content or bad content for several reasons. So I want to go into those reasons today and then give you some tips on how to create great content and then also where to use that content in your business, which is equally as important. So to kick things off, I think it deserves defining what is content. So content is not just the words and the sentences that you use on your website or in your brochure. Content is really three different things. So the first thing is that it is the topics, the information, what you're communicating, what you're writing about. So how do you define your business? What are your services? Who's your target market? What blogs are you putting out? All of that. That, of course, is content. But there's also the cumulative effect of all that content. So like, what messages are you communicating on a much higher scale? So, what's the essence of your brand? What narrative are you creating? And that's kind of where that idea of a brand story comes from is, we're not creating fairy tales, but we are creating stories with consistent, great information over time. And then the third part is really important in the area of marketing your business, which is what's the sticky factor of your content? So the sticky factor is a phrase not that I've made up with. There's a great book, actually. I linked to it in the post below, but it's called Made to Stick. But the whole concept is that if you have sticky ideas or sticky information, it's going to keep people coming back or it's going to keep them on the page and engage with your content more. So we want to create great brand content that's sticky. So people are going to come, they're going to read it, they're going to like what they're reading, and then they're going to come back for more. So with time, that brings users back to your page. And that kind of goes to why content is so important. There's a few things that I really like to talk with clients about when they're working with Verano to create great content. And one of the first ones is that content is your platform to show expertise. You really can... you can really own the topic. So let's take a lot of the trades that we work with. They get frustrated because they think, well, I'm in roofing or I'm a plumber or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what I say about my business. But I would argue the opposite, that it does matter what you say about your business for a lot of reasons. And one of those is that you can be offering a lot of valuable information to consumers before they're ever ready even to use your services. So you can talk about how to look for a roof that might need repair or how to know when your sink is getting to the point that you need to have a plumber come in before it's an emergency. So they can start to build awareness of your brand and find some loyalty to you before you even get to that point. But I think content is also such a great way to show what it is that you're really good at. What do you know? What do you love to talk about? What is it that you know better than other people around you? And that's what you can really share with content in ways that you can't always do that just with pictures or just with other information. So content really has to be the heart of that. And content also helps you build this community of trust. So we talk a lot about social media and building a community, but what we're really getting at here is if people come back to you for good information time and time again, whether they're in the market for your services or they've already used your services, having great content creates a lot of engagement, and more engagement drives more viewers. So great content can engage people, which then in turn drives visibility for your brand, which is number 3. So great content creates visibility in a lot of ways, but social media is a huge one. Obviously, that creates a lot of visibility for your brand. But SEO, you have to have a great content strategy to have a really good SEO strategy, and they go hand in hand. Great content also makes more shareable information. So if you have content that is informative for people, no matter if they're buying from you or not, that's more likely to be shared, and that's going to drive more visibility. Also, Google loves new content with great keywords. So if you're consistently refreshing your website with great content, then they're going to consistently give you, Google points, if you will, in terms of how you're going to show up in the search results. So with those three things, it's critical to have great content. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can do it bit by bit, but you do have to have it. And actually, with this post, we're giving away a free worksheet on all the places that you need to consider where you're putting your brand's content. So be sure to check that out. You can download it in the blog post below and come back next week for more.